Testing, testing, 1, 2. Perfect. All right. Did put those tags in. I did. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and see what we got on our scanners. Start with the low floats. So out here on the low floats, I see we have MSGM leading the day up 114%. Behind that, we have BKYI. Okay. Let's look at the higher floats. Got old NVIDIA over there and Irene. Both of them are red. We'll look at to see what else is going on. Let's jump over to the main. So this is MSGM. Looks like it started moving from 227 last night or yesterday afternoon. Moved up here to 570. Retested the 4, went up back up to 580, and now it's coming back down. What was the news on MSGM? Speaking of news, let's go to news here. So out here on the news, let's see, we have 11.6. It's 11.7, so whatever news dropped yesterday afternoon. Press release, Motorsport Games report third quarter 2025 financial results. It was just earnings. We are very pleased to once again generate net income for the company this quarter, commented Stephen Hood, President and Chief Executive Officer of Motorsport Games. We believe this sustained increased revenue primarily driven by our Le Mans Ultimate title, alongside improved profitability, showcases our markedly improved operational efficiency, and that our products are showcasing market fit. Okay, are they talking any money though? Let's see, third quarter revenues of, oh man, I gotta go sideways for this, don't I? Revenues of 3.1 mil, an improvement of 1 mil, something like that. Okay. Motorsports, we've seen motorsports come up before, and yeah, they're always doing a little bit, but they usually end up popping up during the end of the week because their catalyst isn't that strong. But today they are getting a little bit of look with 18 million shares traded. Over here to my charts. So this is what their daily chart is looking like. Daily chart. I've been trading down for a while. Let's clean this daily chart up. Clear my drawings. Okay. All right, now let's zoom on in. So it's down here 73 cents back in what's that, January, February, March, April of 2025. Had a nice move up from 73 cents up here to 316, and has been trading around these levels. Went up here to around for the first time, came back down to 219, and now is trading above 476. So this is the previous level, little peak on the daily chart of the 393s. Mark that up. Edit peak daily level. Okay. Daily level, and let's go ahead and back it on up. Nothing else really super obvious, but just trading above that peak daily level. All right, let's go over here to our research and let's see what's on the front page of everything. So why OpenAI might not want to go public? Because they're going to be $1 million. As soon as it opens, people just gonna be trying to buy it. Musk, Tesla needs oh yeah, I forgot. Musk got that $1 trillion pay package. So he will definitely be okay for like the rest of ever. Let's see. Musk Tesla needs gigantic chip fab fob for AI. Good work with Intel. Okay, so Intel may be getting some play. Let me go and I like to keep these names that are on the front page listed so I can be able to look back at them. So Intel and Tesla. But that's a rumor though, it looks like. So they could work with Intel. So I'm not gonna really focus that. Let's see. Expedia shares jump on strong bookings for business clients. Crypto market erases most of 2025 gains in just weeks. Yep. Chinese exports unexpectedly slump as US shipments fall 25%. Fed may soon need to start buying bonds. Stocks face critical tipping point as key thresholds are tested. Trump says Americans are paying something for tariffs. U.S. stocks futures I return to tech-led sell-off. Tesla shares approve Musk $1 trillion pay. The latest news: Expedia raises 2025 revenue growth forecast. Oil pairs a weekly loss against backdrop of sanctions and surplus. India delivery platform Swiggy approves up to 100 billion rupees fundraise via QIP, but there's no real listed stocks out here. Let's go see down here what they're talking about. Let's see why my stop.
Their immense support. We have a fantastic board, fantastic. And what we're about to embark upon is not merely a new chapter of the future of Tesla, but a whole new book.
Then finally, on the 2025 CEO Performance Award to our founder and CEO, Elon Musk, with over 75% voting in favor. Approved.
I'd like to thank the Tesla board for their immense support. We have a fantastic board, fantastic group of shareholders. Thank you all. And what we're about to embark upon is not merely a new chapter of the future of Tesla, but a whole new book.
Tesla shareholders approving Elon Musk $1 trillion pay package. So that is your headline. Listen, we had spoken to Tesla financial analysts, Tesla shareholders leading up to this, and their bet had been that they would indeed pass this package. Remember, Musk, like the last pay package, would have to hit these performance metrics, right? Among them, Tesla would have to deliver 20 million Teslas. It would have to deploy 1 million robo-taxis. It would have to deploy 1 million robots. And by the way, hit 400 billion of adjusted EBITDA over 4 separate quarters.
Yes, sirree.
I know you just said, Joe, that you think the court will rule in the administration's favor. The president has called this case literally a, quote, life or death decision for our country. And certainly the tariffs have been the economic centerpiece of the president's economic agenda. What is at stake here if the high court were to knock this down?
The president said it the best. This is really would be an historic ruling if it was to go against the U.S. These tariffs. Look, Jennifer, the the IEPA, the International Economic Emergency Powers Act, gives the president the authority to regulate imports. That means if he wanted, he could put an embargo on against a particular country to have none of those goods come in. A tariff effectively works the same way, but works in a more nuanced, more effective, more surgical way. And this policy, if it's reversed, is going to undo what the president wants to do in fixing the emergency, getting trade deficits down, being able to have more national security, which is interwoven with economic security in the U.S. And the IEPA is a key tool to do that. We won't be able to reindustrialize. We've got capital coming in. It's coming in because of the tariffs. We've got the One Big Beautiful Bill, which kept the Trump 2017 tariffs, taxes in place and tax policy in place. We've got cheap and abundant energy, business deregulation. So as you said, the tariffs are a centerpiece. The president's exactly correct. If the court mistakenly were to rule against us, that would cause unnecessary economic pain and hardship. We're hopeful it won't happen, and we'll see what happens.
Just to dig a little bit deeper on what you just said there, what type of economic pain could we see? I mean, yesterday I spoke with Federal Reserve Governor Stephen Myron, who said at the very least it would increase uncertainty and drag on economic growth. What supply chains, to your point, are being resituated as a result of these new lines that are being drawn by tariffs? We've collected nearly $200 billion in tariff revenue as of September 30th. If you could expound on what kind of economic ripples we could see as far as recession or not, please do.
Yeah, well, Governor Myron made some very good points. I completely agree with him on that. But even Justice Barrett talked about, well, how would you even give the money back? How would you give the refunds back? It's a very complex issue. There were some third-party providers that were responsible for collecting the tariffs. How would it work? How would you disperse those funds? Financial markets, which initially were nervous about these tariffs, they were nervous about President Trump's policies, have cheered those policies. Yes, so to the extent that the policy would be reversed or watered down, that would damage financial markets. It would damage confidence. The system, the economic system, capitalism works on confidence. You've seen record high equity markets. You've seen record low credit spreads. You've seen commitments by all different countries and companies to invest in the U.S. Everything works hand in hand with what President Trump's vision is to reindustrialize and rejuvenate the U.S. economy and build things again. So I'm an optimist. I don't want to think about, the worst case scenarios. The president has been very clear in what he says and what he believes, and we're totally on board with that. Keeping our fingers crossed and figuring that, common sense here will prevail.
Fingers crossed, common sense prevails. But in the worst case scenario, does the administration have a contingency plan in place? For instance, could we see more tariffs enacted for different sectors under Section 232?
There are various, as you know, there's 232, there's 122, there's 301. There's a variety of different sections. The Treasury Secretary yesterday mentioned he didn't want to go into the details, but he is well aware and very well prepared in the unlikely event that the case was not to go the way we wanted, that these tariffs would be put in through other avenues so as to accomplish the administration's goal, which has been incredibly popular, obviously, with financial markets, investors, American people, because, again, you're going to reindustrialize. You're employing Americans to build the factories with the foreign capital that's coming in. They're going to be employed by Americans, but there will be contingency plans put in place at some point should the court rule improperly.
Sweetgreen out with its third quarter results, and Yahoo Finance's Brooke DePalma joins us now for a look at the numbers. Brooke, what do you see?
Well, certainly what we're seeing here is Sweetgreen having a bit of a sell-off in after-hours trading after Wall Street really went into this report with really low expectations And now these results came in worse than expected. Taking a closer look at the numbers, adjusted earnings per share came in at a loss of 31 cents compared to what the street's expectations of a loss of about 18 cents. Revenue came in at about 172. They were looking for 178. And same-store sales saw a decline of 9.5% in the quarter. Wall Street had already expected a decline of about 6.3%. And in the results, Jonathan Neiman, the co-founder and CEO of Sweetgreen, he said amid a challenging macro backdrop, their priorities remain clear: delivering operational excellence, accelerating menu innovation, and driving discipline. He went on to say that he's extremely confident that the leadership team and focused strategy will lead Sweetgreen back to sustained profitable growth. Now, after this company saw this decline of 9%, it yet again cut its guidance for fiscal year 2025 and now expects same-store sales growth to drop between 7.7% to 8.5%. That's more than the previous forecast of a same-store sales decline of 4 to 6%. Certainly not what the street wants to hear right now, especially in this environment. We're seeing all these fast casual players really see slowing same-store sales growth as consumers become more choiceful. They're really being picky about where they go. And it's worth noting here that heading into this report, we did get some rhetoric from the street, including Citi's John Tower. He said specifically an operational turnaround is being masked by a difficult market backdrop that likely worsened. Keep in mind, Sweetgreen started in the DC market. That makes up a majority of their base there. Of course, we have the government shutdown. They're suffering as well, but it tends to lean into these wellness trends that we've really been seeing win over consumers lately. But right now, fast casual not doing too hot, and this is yet another example of
And
that.
with the fast casual not doing too hot, does that just, I mean, it comes down to, is it rising cost, Brooke, and also just a consumer, or at least certain consumers, feeling more pressure?
Well, think about what exactly fast casual is lapsing. Back in 2024, the value perception among fast casual had all these companies, Cava, Chipotle, Shake Shack even, and Sweetgreen doing pretty well. And now as that, consumer becomes more cautious, maybe they're turning to other brands. We're seeing McDonald's do a little bit better than what they were last year. Now we're not seeing the similar same-store sales growth that we saw last year.
Okay. Buying the dip is not one.
And given all the record highs that we.
All right, so let's get back over here to our watch list real quick. So low floats still leading the way. MSGM up 110%. It is coming on down a little bit. Behind that is Ruby and BKYI. Higher floats, we have Tesla leading with 1 million shares up here, then Nvidia, and then behind that Irene and Archer. Let me see what Sweetgreen is real quick, because they were talking about it. Let me see. Oh, Sweetgreen. Sounds like some kind of, like they were saying, health and wellness. All right, Sweetgreen Inc., together with its subsidiaries, operates fast food restaurants serving healthy food and beverages in the United States. It also accepts orders through its online and mobile ordering platforms, as well as sells gift cards that do not have an expiration date and can be redeemed. The company was founded in 2006 and is headquartered in Los Angeles, California. Okay. I'm wondering, are they down because people, like she said, not only people are getting more picky, but more people during times of uncertainty and things, they start kind of cooking. They start, being more self-reliant and definitely turning their buyer's brain on and their kind of shopper's brain on to the fullest extent, looking for the best deals possible. If it's not the best, then they're going to do it themselves. So, it's kind of, we'll have to see how people think differently in times of uncertainty, for sure. Fear is some of the greatest gasoline and the hardest brake pedals that you'll ever hit. And you just never know which way it's gonna flow. Sweetgreen, let's go back over here to MSGM, continuing to come down. I only took one trade yesterday, which was on FTEL. it just had such high volume, but it was going down, 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 down. And when I found this, I started looking at it. It had dropped from, it was up there at $5 and something. And I just played the backside of this move. I didn't see anything else that I could trade. Nothing was above 5. This one had like 60 million shares on it. So I took this little bitty trade in here and did not even get close to the 30 cents that I usually look for. Where was it? Let me stretch this out and pan down. Stretch this out and pan down. So right here is where I was watching it. And I saw it kind of hold. Well, this is a 15-minute chart. Let me go back to the 1 minute. Because the 1 minute, you'll see. Okay. All right. So this is what I was seeing yesterday on this one. This is a very risky play. I just saw it building higher lows here. So it came down to 176, hit 176 again, hit a higher low here. And I was looking for this original idea to hold, which it did down here at around 182. And I got into this one, and this was a cheaper one. So guess what I had to do? Oversize. So I got into this one, 400 shares, and then rode it a little bit. It came up here and came down. And I was just looking for it to hold this this trend above the previous trend. Came back down into this level. I added back in here another 400 shares. So I had 800 shares, and then it got going up to and I was looking. So $100 on this trade would have been 202 up here. It came up here to right around $2, but never did break it. And I was holding that. And so every cent, let me think, 800 shares, every cent was like, let's see, what was every cent? I think it was, what, $80? I don't know, 800, $8. Okay. So it was moving, every cent was $8. And I had my stop, a tight stop, riding this trend line. If it broke the trend line, I was going to be out. And so I was just riding the trend line, And it ended up, I believe I stopped out on, let me see. I had moved my stop up right to this little 1 minute gap because I wasn't sure if it was going to hold. And I ended up stopping out here. Yep. Stopped out with a small gain. Small, like very small. It's none of this, wasn't even close to 30 cents. It was a 2-cent gain. And it stopped me out right here at the bottom and then circled back up, came back down to this trend again, and ended up slamming through this trend. So I got out on this one because I was like, yeah, that's a little bit too much momentum, but it did slow down and backpedal back up there to the top. Still didn't break that too, and ended up breaking down there. So it is what it is. It was a green trade, but this one was definitely out of scope. One, it's cheaper. It had a lot of volume, 60 million something shares, but I also had the size up. If I would have took the same, let's say if I took 100 shares and just got 2 cents, it's like, for what? You got to size up on these. And that's the problem with them, is they force you to reduce your options. But anyway, back over here, we got BKY. What are you over here doing, big boy? BKY recently was down here, came up to 97 cents. What is your news on today? BKY is, let's see the news here. BKY BioKey secures significant identity and biometric security deployment with a major Middle East defense sector organization. Are they naming the organization? I'm guessing, let's see, a global leader in identity and access management, IAM, and biometric authentication technologies, has secured a significant new deployment with a major defense sector security organization in the Middle East. They do not name it, so that's kind of hard. Let's see. The contract represents one of BioKey's largest. Yeah, but not naming the company is kind of shady. So let's go and look in the let's go look over here in the research department, and this is BKYI. kind of shady there. Okay, so BioKey International Inc. develops and markets fingerprint identification biometric technology and software solutions and enterprise-ready identity access management solutions for commercial government and education sectors in the United States and internationally. It offers BioKey-based identity platform that allows customers to integrate with any cloud or on-premise SaaS application services and cloud hosts, as well as Windows device authentication through IAM platform. The company's solutions enable its customers to secure their workforces and student populations and make their partner networks more collaborative. In addition, it provides BioKey VST and WebKey products and civil and large-scale ID infrastructure. Okay, so a lot of cybersecurity type deal here, fingerprint readers and identity and access and authentication methods. This one was incorporated in 2002. BioKey International Inc. was founded in 1993. Okay, so what is this? The company formerly known as SAC Technologies and changed its name to BioKey International in 2002. It's based in America, headquartered in Homedale, New Jersey. Only thing that I don't like about that catalyst is they don't name who they got a contract with. Don't really like that at all. BKY, let me go ahead and notate that so I don't come back later on in the day and be like, oh, what was this? Oh yeah. No name. This was out of New Jersey. Did not name the contracted entity. And this one was out of 1993 with the name change in 2002. Okay, so that's that. MSGM, pretty flat pattern right now. Let me jump back out here to the 15-minute. So on the 15-minute, we got a high wick up to the 580, higher low than the 412, but I'm not sure how long that's going to hold up. Still up 117% with 20 million shares traded. Good morning, Andre B. Oh, by the way, yesterday, so I did an update yesterday morning, which it was necessary because when my computer came up, none of my peripherals were working. My keyboard, my cameras, the monitors, nothing was working. So I was like, okay, let me just update everything. So I updated everything and brought it back up and everything started working, and then they started flashing. So everything just started flashing on and off, keyboards and just flashing everywhere. So I was like, okay. And this was like before the normal stream time. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So I started to try to get it fixed out. And then all of a sudden I did a little reboot after one of the updates that I was looking at. And when it came up, nothing was working. I was like, okay. So I'm in a situation here. And so I spent quite a bit of time going through the log files of my computer and figuring out what was wrong, and erasing different states that were saved, and getting it back to where it was. It was a mess. So yesterday that's what I spent the morning doing, is fighting with my unit, but I got it back up because I'm me. No, I'm playing. But yeah, we figured it out. We got it. BKYI. Let's go see. That's where the majority of the volume is right now with 29 million. I want to see something come up and challenge that because it's kind of vague, not listing the company that they contracted with. And then MSG is just weak catalyst overall as well. We've seen that one before. Let's jump back over to the research and let's see what they're talking about over here. So buying the dip is not one size fits all. Strategist explains. Well, duh, but we'll see what she got to say. We'll see. It's only a minute. Let's go.
And given all the record highs that we've seen, sometimes folks tell us that, you know, when you have some sort of a pullback and you have a little bit of volatility, it's good for investors because you can get in at cheaper prices. So are you advocating to buy the dip at this point, or would you wait on the sidelines a bit more?
I think it depends on client by client where they're at. We call it portfolio hygiene, and we've recommended continuing to rebalance through the year. It's also important to remember from a diversification standpoint globally that the U.S. markets, while they've done really well, have underperformed a lot of global markets. And so being globally diversified and continually rebalancing within that makes some sense. But for clients who have maybe year-end bonuses or early in the year bonuses, having a pullback in order to be able to deploy some of that cash makes sense. For other clients where they've got significant gains year to date and wanting to trim back and rebalance some of that into there, that makes some sense too. It's also great for those clients with appreciated securities to be able to do some year-end gifting to their favorite charities with those appreciated securities.
What are your sort of contenders for a catalyst to end the momentum?
I think somebody wakes up one day, you know, not today, but wake up one day, say, I'm not going to spend 250 times earnings on a company. I don't think 55 times earnings on some of these great companies, good companies, but the rate of growth is being valued at perpetuity. So any hiccup in that is going to send these stocks into correction. And we're not talking a 5% correction. When the NASDAQ pulls back, it can drop 20, 30% in a heartbeat. We saw that in 22 when the NASDAQ was down about 34%. People forget. You saw that this summer, going into summer, when the NASDAQ was down over 20%. So what we're saying is any rate of growth, any change in that. But I will tell you a thing that really concerns us. OpenAI is a great company. We love it. We have investments in tech, the Googles, the Broadcoms, we have it. But there's a lot of circular financing taking place. All these companies are giving money to OpenAI, which turns around and counts the revenue back that they're going to get from these other companies. And, you know, OpenAI, you know, is valued so highly, and it's not really generating as much revenue as people think. So if there's any hiccup in OpenAI's financing, that could cause a domino effect. We don't think it will, but we're just saying there's systemic risks out there that people are ignoring. And if there's a hiccup in financing in AI, Katie, bar the doors, because these stocks will drop like a heartbeat. So we're just saying identify risk, and for the individual investor, have exposure. But this is a good time to pare it back.
Right. Max, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
OAI. Is it on the rocks or is it not? It's a question. All right, let me go back over here to our low float scanner. MSGM still sucking up volume, but still BKYI has a beat and the volume has not slowed down just yet. BKYI throwing up some wicks, some more wicks. What was the previous high? The previous high was up here at 97 cents. Whoops, wrong drawing tool. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it had a previous high here at 93. Got a little slope there, and then we got maybe some type of idea back here at the 72s. Not sure. We'll see how it ends up trading. Again, they did not name the entity that they got a contract with. It's pretty much, yes, they have catalyst. Yes, they have volume, but it's vague catalyst. Andre B says, I'm taking some short positions on some AI companies. Yeah, I feel that AI has been running for quite a while, and we don't know what the correction looks like, because every time it's been like a fake out. It's been like, oh yeah, we're about to correct more, going higher, going higher, going higher. So what does a real correction look like in the AI universe is the question that a lot of people are trying to gauge. And it's impossible because it hasn't really, come to fruition just yet. And every time the way that they market AI brings so many enthusiasts into it, people that have capital, and they're like, man, I just I got to get into this. And it's a lot of FOMO, but it's a lot of actual investors, big investors, getting in for the ride as well, and they just continue to just pump it up. So we'll see how AI ends up playing. MSGM coming back over $5. What is Ruby? RUBI. Ruby, I see news last time it was on November 5th. Rubicon announces a pricing of a $7.5 million underwritten public offering. Rubicon shares are trading lower after the company price. Okay, so offering. Okay, so I don't know why that has so much volume there, but just waiting to see BKY come on down. MSGM still trading pretty flat here as well. I don't know if it's going to be able to get back up over 580 with the way that it's trading. All right, let me see if I can find some more research here. Let's see. We talked about Tesla, Elon Musk making his bag. Talked about AI, flight cuts. Oh yeah, I've been seeing a couple of Take-Two delays on GTA 6. They still delaying GTA 6. That ain't coming out until some of us are well and gone. Let's see. Trump inks Eli Lilly Novo deals, flight cuts. BKY, I waiting for this one to fail so something else can come up, but let's go look at these flight cuts they're talking about.
Time now for to watch Friday, November 7th. We're going to start off here with air travel. The Federal Aviation Administration cutting air traffic by 10% across 40 major U.S. airports on Friday. That will include New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Atlanta, as the government shutdown strains staffing. Some air traffic controllers have been working unpaid and calling out, forcing the FAA to reduce flights to maintain safety. The cuts could mean thousands of cancellations and travel disruptions nationwide ahead of that holiday travel season. Moving over to the Federal Reserve, more Fed commentary coming in on Friday from multiple Fed officials. This is coming after comments from Cleveland Fed President Beth Hammack on Thursday. Hammack saying that she estimates inflation won't reach the Fed's 2% target for another 2 to 3 years. Taking a look at earnings as well, we're going to be getting reports from the energy sector on Friday. That will include Constellation, Enbridge, and Duke. Constellation Energy is announcing results for the third quarter. Analysts expecting the Q3 earnings call to be focused on regulatory changes in the PJM power market. That's a large regional electricity grid and new nuclear power deals. And finally, fresh consumer data coming in on Friday with consumer sentiment. Economists forecasting that number to come in at 53 for the month of November. That was a slight dip from a month earlier, signaling that people are feeling a bit less optimistic about the economy.
All right, let's see. Trump inks Eli
President
Lilly.
Trump announcing deals with Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk to slash the prices of some of their obesity drugs, pushing to expand access to the costly weight loss treatments.
Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk are committing to offer Zepbound and Wegovy at most favored nations rates for American patients. This will slash the cost of Wegovy from $1,350 a month to ultimately $250 a month, and reduce the monthly cost of Zepbound from $1,080 to $346.
We're navigating how to play the pharmaceutical sector with the Yahoo Finance Playbook. And joining me now, we got Courtney Breen, Senior Analyst of U.S. Biopharmaceuticals at Bernstein. Courtney, it is great to see you. You're, in fact, the perfect person to have here, Courtney, because we got this news. Trump announcing deals with Lilly and Novo. They're going to cut prices for popular weight loss drugs. Courtney, how, as investors, Courtney, should we think about this news? You know, what does it mean for growth and margins and adoption? What are you telling clients?
It's great to be with you today, and yesterday has been particularly busy and noisy when it comes to this market. A couple of things that I think are really important. Today, when we look at Medicare, which is your older patient population, we have very, very limited access to these obesity products. And so as we look at this opportunity to open up that entire patient population through the demonstration project or pilot project that's being established with the $245 price, as well as offering that price into Medicaid, where we do only have a few states that are offering these products broadly, this looks like a real volume opportunity for both companies. Notably, Lilly tends to get a greater market share with their Zepbound product relative to Wegovy. And so we would point to the fact that they're more likely to gain more share and more volume.
Okay, so Senate says we have NFP today. Let's see, what's today's date? Did they have anything? What's today's date? The 7th. Let's see. What's on the 7th? We have speech by Chair Philip N. Jefferson on the AI and the economy at Euro 20 Plus Frankfurt am Main, Germany. We have another speaker, speech by Governor Stefan I. Miran on stablecoins and monetary policy at the BCVC Summit 2025, New York, New York. So we got some speakers today here early and then later on today about monetary policy and AI. We've been seeing this AI build up. Will it hold? Will it not? No one knows. It's one of those things where these next couple of months of earnings and things, will we see earnings slip or what? Will we see them actually start to put out the robotics and the physical infrastructure to continue to push this move? Let's go and jump back over to, where was I? Back over here. All right. But yeah, NFPs this morning.
Relative to Novo Nordisk.
How big, Courtney, is the GLP-1 market? What do you tell clients?
This is the debate that continues. In the US today, as we think about the number of patients that are currently taking these medicines branded, it's somewhere in the range of 8 to 10 million patients. This is a number that could really expand as we look forward to these new markets coming on board. So this could be expanding by 5 or so million patients in a pretty reasonable scenario. As we get Medicare unlocked, you could see meaningful expansions over time as well as we get the oral products launching, which is another important part of this deal where both companies have got commissioners' review vouchers to ensure that their oral products get to market as early as possible, which will be early next year. In terms of the TAM and the size, this is the greatest debate. How much is this price coming down relative to the volume going up? There's lots of moving pieces out there, but certainly we've always been talking about this market being well over $100 billion, trending towards that $125 billion mark. And as we look at expansion and volume opening up further, there's lots to believe that this could be a very buoyant, stable market for a long time.
I know, Courtney, you don't cover Novo, but Lilly, you say, is a buy here. Walk me through the catalysts you see ahead.
Yeah, it's a great question. There are a lot of catalysts on the horizon for Lilly. Today was a really important piece of the puzzle. Not only was it getting this deal done and that policy pressure off, but it was also this commissioner's review voucher for orforglipron. Orforglipron is incredibly exciting. This is a small molecule. Small molecules are particularly interesting in the space because they're ultra scalable. That means that they can manufacture this product and distribute it at a much, much higher rate than we get with the injectables. A real opportunity to scale this TAM as we head into next year. So pulling that launch earlier into the year, base case for most analyst expectations was the middle of next year. And so pulling that kind of 3 to 6 months earlier is going to be a really meaningful catalyst. That launch is also likely to surprise to the upside. The volume that Lilly has prepared here is material. On the other side of the equation, we do have scientific catalysts that are really critical for Lilly. We had eloralintide, one of their new products, also read out today. And we're looking forward to the beginning of next year, into the first half of next year, where retatrutide will read out. This is their very high efficacy agent, which combines 3 different mechanisms to target obesity compared to the 2 that we have in tirzepatide today.
Switching gears, Courtney, another name you cover, Pfizer, which is now locked in this litigation over the Metsera bid. I'm curious, Courtney, how you see this playing out and what potentially the ramifications are for Pfizer financially and strategically.
This is a very unique situation. It is very rare that we see, after a deal is announced, another company swooping in to try and take that deal. So this is particularly unique in the large cap space. And we're now in this very public bidding war between the 2 companies. And if anyone else was watching the White House announcement today, you would have seen the Novo Nordisk CEO say, well, if Pfizer does want this deal, they're going to have to reach into their pocket and offer more. So this is a kind of race to the top in many respects. I think what's really important to know is that it is important that Pfizer doesn't pay too much here. Pfizer has in the past been criticized for potentially spending too much on M&A in kind of large, sizable transactions. While this one at this point isn't necessarily of the scale of some of those past deals, this kind of notion of a bidding war going up isn't necessarily kind of going to bring many investors' confidence in the fact that they haven't overpaid for this particular asset. So we will see how this plays out. There's obviously court cases going on in parallel. And the current position is that Novo appears to have the highest bid in place at the moment. And we are waiting to see if Pfizer is going to return or going to walk away.
Here's some.
All right, so what's the ticker on Novo? That's what I'm looking for. Let me see, Novo. I know Lilly, but Novo, is that Novo Nordics or this one right here? Let's see what this is. NOVO. Novo subsidiaries, research, development, manufacture, and distribution of pharmaceuticals. This is probably it. It is out of Denmark, but I know I've seen Lilly before. Let's go look at Lilly real quick. LLY. I bet they're going to start, or not start, but they are already moving up here. So they closed at, or they were at 937 on Lilly. And they're almost $1,000, got close to crossing $1,000 per share. So they are up there. So I'm guessing this is going to be more of options type players for day trading, because that's a lot of money to spend unless you got unless you're trading above PDT, I guess. But I don't even know if this will be a day trade. I'm pretty sure people have been watching this thing forever, mapping out different, levels and things like that. And so they are in it for the long game. And now that the president has put it in the news by talking about it in Novo, let's see where Novo is. Novo NVO. I believe this is a Novo they're talking about. Okay, so Novo, though, is down here at $46.41. But I want to make sure I'm talking about the right one, though. So I don't want to be pulling up the wrong one. Oh, yeah. Senate says it's NVO. Perfect. Okay, so we're looking at the right one. And it's 46, so it's a lot more affordable than the other one, with being 900 shares. Hit a high up here of 148 at one point, has plenty of gaps back here to fill. gap level right here between 103 and like 90s in here. Had a gap right here that it didn't really get the fill here at 87s. Had a gap back here at 63. Now let's go and check if it is a dividend paying stock or are they just in the business of growth. So let's go to dividend and see if NVO is a dividend paying stock or are they just growth right now. Come on, buddy. I'm a human, bro. Okay, there we go. Well, that's how you're gonna do me here? I guess so. All right, let's go check. Where else can I go? Let's go to. Did they show it in their statistics if they were paying out statistics? See profitability, stock price history, dividends and splits. Okay, so it does look like it has some type of dividend here. Payout ratio 49.77%. Those are split days. What's the dividend? Last time it paid dividends was 8.26, so it must be a quarterly dividend. So why the dividends give me issues like that? Yeah, trash. All right, market. Watch. Okay, Nordis. Dividend is 41 cents, but the yield is 2.65% per year. I'm thinking this is a quarterly dividend just based on the times that we were just seeing there back in what 8 something. Okay. May have to look into that one because it may be getting some plays down at 46. Has it gapped up or something today? Let's see, NVO. It is not currently positive right now, but yeah. And this one was based out of where? Based out of, was it Germany? Denmark. Bagsveerd, Denmark is where that's based out of. So services Europe, so distribution of pharmaceutical products in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, mainland China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, North America, and internationally. I don't know. Lilly might be the safer choice. Even though it's higher price, it might be the safer choice actually. Anyway, let's continue on. What is this? Take two delays on GTA 6. Man, people have been talking about GTA 6 getting delayed for the last 20 years, I think.
Key movers to watch. We're going to look at shares of Take-Two first, sinking as it delays the release of its highly anticipated game Grand Theft Auto 6 once again. This time, pushing it by 6 months from May 2026 to November 19th, 2026. The initial release date, remember, was set for this fall. Take-Two did not offer a reason for that delay. Affirm, meanwhile, topped in revenue estimates for the first quarter as gross merchandise volume also topped expectations. The company highlighting another highest ever GMV record in a quarter. Affirm also providing full-year guidance on gross merchandise volume, forecasting more than $47.5 billion. That was slightly higher than Wall Street expectations of $47.4 billion. Opendoor reporting a wider than expected loss per share for the third quarter. The company also reporting a greater adjusted EBITDA loss than expected. Looking ahead to the
Wait a minute. I gotta go back
$7.5
up.
billion,
Confirm.
that was slightly higher than Wall Street
notes.
expectations of $47.4 billion. Opendoor reporting a wider than expected loss per share for the third quarter. The company also reporting a greater adjusted EBITDA loss than expected. Looking ahead to the fourth quarter, Opendoor forecasting revenue to decrease 35% quarter over quarter due to low inventory.
Okay, so Opendoor is definitely looking nasty over here. Go on watch. Right here. So these are the ones that I've kind of taken notes of. Open, MVO, Sweet Green. I don't know if they're going to be anything. It's been falling from the sky. But Opendoor being down 24%. Where did it start from? Let me see. Let's go. And also, I've been looking over here at the NASDAQ. So the overall market structure here still going down. Yesterday was a harsh drop from the 25,000s back down here to the 25,200s and continuing to push down. So I'm guessing if anybody had short positions up here at these highs and they're just holding off of moving averages or something like that, they're doing very, very well on their short estimate. Let's go ahead and look at Opendoor daily chart. So yesterday it was at 656. And let's back up a little bit. That's all of the trading history I see for it. Back here to 2022, had a little rise, came down here to 58 cents, went all the way up to $10.91. And now dropping from this close of yesterday at 656 back down to 494. So somewhere up in here. So quite a bit of a little gap down with their revenue miss. Let's see. Let's see the next little piece they have here.
Mountain, the ad tech company that went public in May, reporting a record third quarter with revenue up 31% as more brands use its performance TV, and the company now leans into artificial intelligence. For more, we're bringing in Mountain CEO Mark Douglas. Mark, it is good to see you. So maybe start there, Mark, because you did report results this week. Walk us through what you're seeing in the business, Mark.
Well, for Mountain, we introduced the concept of performance TV, meaning instead of using television, we're talking specifically streaming TV, as just a medium for brand building, using it where you can drive measurable revenue for your business, and in particular for small and mid-sized businesses. And so we're seeing that market that we created continue to grow rapidly. These businesses are increasingly confident they can be on television. One of the big obstacles in the past was the creative. They don't have TV commercials, the company. I'm talking like e-commerce brands, travel brands, and so forth. So we introduced technology last week, AI technology, to help solve that problem also.
I'm curious in terms of ad spend, just more broadly, Mark, the trends you're seeing here. Are you seeing advertisers spend aggressively into Q4?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, mainly in the performance arena. So again, performance marketing is marketing to make money, like to specifically make money. So that's paid search, paid social. Now, Mountain performance television. Those advertisers, generally Q4 for performance marketers, the big quarter, obviously the holiday quarter. And so they are definitely going to spend in order to maximize their revenue in this quarter, which is generally the largest quarter for most e-commerce brands and most direct-to-consumer brands.
Advertisers, we know, Mark, they're leaning more on AI tools. How are you all leveraging that tech?
Yeah, so Mountain, we leverage it within our business across the company, marketing, sales, engineering, but we also can build AI tech for our customers. The single biggest area about almost 2 years ago, we introduced Mountain Match, which is AI targeting. The hardest part of doing performance marketing is who should receive the ad. These are not companies that have huge budgets, so you really, every dollar counts. And so it's really critical not just to put ads into a market, but to the specific people who are most likely to respond for any given brand. So that was introduced. And now AI creative tools. We're partnered with a number of companies orchestrating multiple AI models in order to produce professional quality video. So that's really exciting. And then throughout the rest of our stack, I mean, everywhere you're going to apply learning models and AI technology to make it perform better.
Okay. So during Christmas, during this season, if they're going to be implementing AI and all this for marketing, like hardcore, I wonder will it actually be a show of true value, right? Because let's say the shutdown just continues and people continue to hold back and hold back and hold back. Will the people that would respond in a regular market or regular time during a non-shutdown, are they going to behave differently? Like, let's say that their plan would work in a better environment. I wonder how much of a deficit that they will see if this environment continues on into the holidays. Now I know Thanksgiving is coming up, and then the Christmas season, so it's kind of getting to the crunch time for some of these AI companies. They probably want to see a government or a reopening of the government for the funds, right? And so kind of to loosen or give some enthusiasm to people, especially into the year end. So I'm wondering how that would actually how that's going to pan out for them doing all of that marketing. Okay, so let's go back over to our homepage here. Let's jump back over to the watch list. So low float, still MSG, nice choppy stock, very sporadic because the catalyst just doesn't really tick all the boxes. BY or BKYI coming on down and hit a top up there of 93 cents. And coming on down to this previous idea, we'll see what it does down to the 79, but it's a very tight range that would cause most people to oversize on it. So it's probably what's going to happen, and probably going to be large dumps because they're oversizing. But let's see. Then out here, let's see Tesla. What you got going on? Moving on down, man. The market is really really helping tech stocks to go down. The overall market, just these tech stocks diving, just taking the market down, down, down. It's probably going to take some resurgence here. If they open up the government, I think that's going to give people enough gusto to start jumping back in. But we're still in this thing, so we'll see. We shall see. Friday, man. This week has been very weird too. I mean, there was very little good opportunities as far as good catalysts coming out. We had a lot of speakers, a lot of people making money for sure. You know, Elon was one that made a lot of money this week. And so, like I said at the beginning of the stream, we were looking at some of the content that was posted on that. You know, it's like, bro, we gotta get these we gotta get this money back rolling, because this market has slowed down quite a bit. I remember, what was that, a couple months ago, every single day having 100% gainers. You know, it was kind of like, wow, this is crazy. But now it's like, okay, the air condition is on, the markets are very cool, and people are trying to figure out what they want to do with their life. All right, so Musk makes big promises. Right here, Musk makes big promises on 1 trillion Tesla payday. Of course, he has. It's almost like how they do with the NBA, NFL, where you have to do so many things to actually get the pay that you you have to meet promises of shareholders to continue to get paid and all of that stuff. But I mean, at this point, you know, $1 trillion pay that's big money. That is quite a bit of money there. Sky in talks to buy ITV television. That was an hour ago. Tesla shareholders approve, blah blah blah. Okay, so where is the latest? Is that the latest? Do you have anything else? Yeah, Elon got the kind of money that he can just pay volunteers to let him walk on their necks. You know, he's like, yeah, come over here, Come over here, man. Look, just lay right here. Lay right here. Sir, you might kill me. Don't worry about it. We'll pay for it. Let me see. So 20 minutes ago, 24 minutes ago. That man finna have 13 more kids. That boy like, man, I'm finna go be a king out here, son. Oh, let's see what we got. So latest 10 minutes ago, Trinity Place Holdings, blah, blah, blah. Screenshot. Okay, so nothing super interesting. It is 7, so it's top of the morning. Good morning, Donnell. Top of the, not top of the morning, top of the hour. And we're just surfing through the news, crypto market. It races. Okay, we saw that earlier. All right, so what is this? These, this looks new. AI's next market catalyst. How to take momentum trade. We saw that one. Buying the dip. Okay, let's go look at this one. This was 32 minutes. Oh, I got her muted. I got her muted.
First, to get your take on this question of what comes next with regard to the shutdown.
Good morning, Julie. I think it probably ends by Thanksgiving for precisely the reasons that you're mentioning. The kind of the practical pain that people will go through, whether it be air traffic, whether it be SNAP benefits, even the economic data or lack of it probably plays a role in all of that. But what you and Ben were just talking about is exactly tracks what I told markets on the election night, which was, Democrats are now going to have their backs up a little bit more, firstly. Secondly, my view of this all along, since before the shutdown started, is this has never been about substance. Democrats picked the healthcare issue as the hill to fight on about 2 weeks before the shutdown. It was never politically they needed to show fight to their progressive base and their progressive donors. So they are continuing to do that. The election results, frankly, embolden them to continue to do that. And finally, I'd note, kind of the body language. Democratic leader Jeffries in the House gave an interview last week in which he was asked 2 questions. One, Speaker Johnson's office is about 30 feet from you down the hall here, and why don't you just go talk to him? And there was no response. Second, have you ever picked up the phone and called the president and said, listen, let's try to work something out? And Jeffries didn't respond to that either. To me, that body language tells you all you need to know about whether there's actual interest there in ending anything anytime soon.
Well, as we know, the initial meeting between the president and Jeffries and Schumer, it was interesting, to say the least. Not very productive, also, to say the least. Terry, so if all of this is true, then how does the logjam break between now and Thanksgiving? I know you described sort of the pressure point, but how do you think it's going to play out, and what's going to force these parties to the table?
Well, Democrats have always left themselves an escape hatch. The escape hatch is that, Republicans don't want to negotiate on the health care issue. Yet Republican leaders in the House continue to say that they will. The president took a good amount of airtime in his 60 Minutes interview on Sunday to say that he'd be happy to do that. The only precondition is that they've got to get the government reopened. So it's just a matter of when Democrats want to declare victory and move forward on that basis. What they're shutting the government down over right now isn't whether or not Republicans will negotiate. It's actually over a technicality about whether or not that is linked up with the government being open or closed. So, kind of any time they want to deal with that, they can do it. Meantime, they still continue to have a few defections in the Senate, and meantime, there's also increasing outside pressure from Democratic leaning unions and others.
Okay, so it just there's just kind of like a disconnect, I believe, with all of the communication. Nobody, they're like, man, I want to talk to Trump, but it's like, bro, just call him, just call him, bro. Call him, big bro. Go ahead and give him a call. What's the worst that he can say? What's the worst that Trump can say at this point? Like, if you never called him before, you never reached out, what's the worst that he could say anyway, right? Oh, hey guys, y'all ready to talk? All right. Oh man, I don't know. I feel like it should at least be tried on the behalf of just negotiations. You know, all negotiations have to start with communication at first. This is reaching back up here to these highs, reached up to the 96. Again, this was a very vague type catalyst. It's broke out of this 92 level, right at this level. So I don't know if it's going to continue to push. It has 63 million shares traded on BKYI. I mean, it's sucking up the volume, man. It is sucking up the volume. Yeah, we want that Santa rally. But like he was saying, I really just think they're going to miss out on a lot of money that they don't want to miss out on having the government shut down into the holidays. Okay. BKYI. And then federal workers, if they get all that money passed back out to them, it's coming right back into the system because they're going to spend it right. They're going to spend it time they touch it. And we're like, oh my goodness, they gave us 3 paychecks at once. How long has it been? It's been what, 35 days, so a month. So it'll be 1 paycheck actually, unless it lasts this month too. Yeah. All right, let's go over here and look. Look what we got over here. MSGM. Going on down again. This one is so choppy, it's probably not even worth doing anything with. It's up 122%, but it's being overshadowed by something that's only up 93 cents. So I'm thinking BKYI is receiving a lot of attention, and shorts are going to end up pounding it into the ground. Got room all the way back down here to the 79s. Coming on back in off of that double top. Let's see. But the things that I put on here for watch, let me show you here. So I'm looking at Open, MVO was one of those as mentioned, SG, Pfizer, A-Firm is the only one that is green out of this whole list. Lilly and Mountain, that's the AI company. I don't know how they only have 1 share traded this morning, but that is kind of insane that they were mentioned in the news, but I don't know. Nobody's really budging on Mountain. Do they have any catalysts or anything? Recent catalysts? Yeah, they do. They did their 3rd quarter revenue. They're participating in upcoming RBC. They got some news rolling for them to have 1 share. That's kind of crazy on the day. But anyway. MSGM continue to struggle to hold up 5. Senate says DraftKings had earnings too, and XYZ had earnings as well. DraftKings, DRKNG. So let's zoom back to the 15-minute on this one. Okay, so DraftKings, as much as I could zoom back, let me look at the daily chart. Okay, so over here on the daily chart, DraftKings has been moving on up. Let's see, 2022. I know it's got more. Okay, yeah, it does have more. The high was 74. highest ever. Came down here to 27 and now is trading at 26, so a little bit lower than what it is now. It is back in this little bottom range here that it has tested before and bounced out of, but at this point it's looking like I don't know if it's going to bounce here or what. Previous bottoms down here to the 25-ishes up in here. I don't know where that's going to end up catching. Did they miss their earnings? Or let's see, DraftKings reports third quarter results. Let's see. That's the 6th. DraftKings follow the recommendation nominating earnings preview of DraftKings, ESPN, DraftKings. Okay, third quarter, so it beats its estimate. Okay. Wait. DraftKings Q3 adjusted EPS 0.26 beats 0.42 estimate. Sales 1.144 billion miss of 1.216 billion estimate. Okay, so they missed that. DraftKings lowers fiscal year 2025 sales guidance from 6.2 billion to 6.2 to 6.4 billion to 5.9 to 6.1 billion. So lowering their estimates there on their revenue. But they got quite a bit of news there. And then the other one that he called out was XYZ. Okay, so let's look at the daily chart on that one, XYZ. Currently it is trading at 60.03. That's quite a bit of a gap down there. Zooming back, what was the high? The high was 289, and this has been trading down a little bit. The low was back here in 2016 at $8 and something. But it's currently at 70 and gap down to, not currently at 70. It ended yesterday at 70.93 and has gapped down to 60.03. And let's look at its news real quick. So news on this one, XYZ. Oh, that's going too far back. 10, Jack Dorsey. Earnings scheduled for November 6th. It's November 7th now. AI stocks earnings flash. Just the EPS, 54 cents. Okay, so Block reported Q3 adjusted earnings late Thursday of 0.54 per diluted share, up from 53 a year earlier. Let's see. So it says they missed theirs as well, missed their 6.312 billion estimate, and misses. So they're up from last year, 53 to 54, but their estimate was 0.67. Let's see. And I guess one of the things you may be like, man, who does this even really matter to? It's the shareholders. When the shareholders see the estimates that they're expecting to see in a year, they're like, oh, we have estimates of, 67. So let's just, worst case scenario, let's say if it's 60 cents, let's just say we make it to 60 cents. We make it to at least into the 60s. We know we're moving in the right direction, but to move from 53 to 54 and not even touch the 60s, it's like, yeah, we're starting to think about things differently, because these we're missing estimates here. So we want to start making those estimates and continuing to keep shareholders wanting to hold shares. BKY going up to $1. Just seen that. Okay, so BKY broke out. Let me jump back over to the 1 minute. Came down here, tossed right at the 92, that previous high level there, and has 75 million shares traded now. Let me see. So we did, and you did XPED did week for earnings. XPED. What's the ticker on XPED? XPED. EXPE. Okay. EXPE. Let's go look over there at that. XPED. This one, benchmark, adjust price target. Expedia. What is Expedia actually? What do they do? Come on, big boy. Expedia. XCPE profile. All right, Expedia Group operates as an online travel company in the United States and internationally. The company operates through B2C, B2B, and Trivago segments. The B2C segment includes brand Expedia, a full-service online travel brand offers. Who do they service? So this is founded in 1996 and is headquartered in Seattle, Washington. Let's see, hotels.com, travel. So I'm wondering, are they going to be harshly impacted by, I know their earnings came out, but with the trap during this shutdown, they're not really seeing a whole lot of downside. Looks like they're still up a pretty good bit on this. Let's see. So 214 was down here, jumped up to 250 even during this whole shutdown and the airport shutting down and all of that. They're still going up. So definitely looks pretty good. Is this a dividend type stock too? It's type company. Let's see, dividends. Last dividend was on 9/18. Last split factor. So split in 2011. So they haven't done a split in a while. Annual dividend 0.73%. So how much is that per month? 73 forward. Oh, this is forward dividend yield, trailing annual dividend. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's a travel company that's still doing very well. They're up 2.75%, 12% on the day. I'm not seeing the volume. Let's see, EXP. Volume on this one is only 100,000 shares, so they're not at the top of the volume level, but they definitely have moved up. They're up 12% right now. And that other one you called out was XYZ and DraftKings, DKNG. Okay. So right now on watch, let's look at the on watch menu. So we got open up here leading the way with 17 million, but it's a cheap one and it fell a whole lot. Behind that, SG fell 17%. MVO along with Lilly were mentioned in the news by President Trump. XYZ has 597 shares. Pfizer was mentioned as well. Then we had some call outs in here. DraftKings, A-Firm was mentioned. XEPE, Lilly, and then Mountain. Only two shit. Mountain, get on out of here. Let's go ahead and get you up out of here, bro. Your volume's tripping. All right, so we're here on Friday. We got that. As far as the low floats, we still have MSGM and BKY went up there almost $1, but wasn't able to crest it with almost 80 million shares traded before the open. You know, pre-market trading is going crazy on BKY with that vague news or that vague catalyst. Let's see, for the higher floats, leading the way in volume, looks like Archer, but it's down, what, 13%. NVIDIA behind that, Tesla, Irene, SoFi, and all of these are red stocks, red. So not looking the greatest. Only one that is green, which is Intel. Wish Intel would just chill out. Just chill out a little bit. It's been moving so much and moving back upwards so much, man. But that's a stock that I want some more of. Anyway, Let's jump back over here to see what's going on over here with this one. BKYI coming back down to the recent place that it was testing at 92. It has disqualified this as a downtrend, so we will remove that and we'll use this one as a new one. 103. It has room back down here to the 80s right now, so about 16-cent fall. And then MSGM continuing to make its way away from $5 as well, making its way down with 43 million shares traded. Let me see. Let's see. Hotels. Yeah. I'm wondering, like, how are they doing so well? I guess because they're diverse. They're not focused just on the air travel, and plus, people have to stay somewhere when the airports close down, right? Like, if they get trapped somewhere and people are calling out and not doing things, they have to stay somewhere, and that's where the hotels, motels, and cardboard boxes come in. So if you're in that type of business, you're gonna make some money. You know, hey, you need a place to stay? Come on over here. We have a chair for you to sleep in. Let's see. But yeah, it's pretty nice. But yeah, it is almost 7:30. Get ready to wrap it on up. We looked through the news. We kind of got a taste test of what the end of the week is looking like. We have the two speakers. One, I guess he's already started speaking or something. Go back over there to the speakers here. So we got Vice Chair Philip Ian Jefferson on AI and the economy. It says 7 a.m. I'm not sure if that's 7 a.m. Eastern time or what that is. And then we have at 3 p.m. Governor Stephen I. Miran on stablecoins and monetary policy. And let's go see if there's any more latest news that we can catch before we wrap it up. Okay, so GTA 5 delayed to November 2026 next year. You know, when I first looked at this this picture, I did not realize that was a robot serving popcorn, but that's a robot serving popcorn. So I guess like that's gonna definitely make people nicer, I think, because talking to a robot that can jump the counter and like throw you through a window. Like you start showing that robot disrespect, and he like put some respect on my name, and he comes and he's like, you know who made me? Elon. You know how rich he is? I can walk on your neck. But yeah, Elon definitely has some promises to make. He's got I think they say like 1 million robots to make, and he's got several things. I wonder if they have listed the things that he has to actually do. They were saying it during the video we watched earlier. Guessing that's a video. I might not even watch this video. Let's see. It's taking some time. So let's see. Elon Musk responded in kind to Tesla Inc. investors approving his $1 trillion compensation package, making a series of extravagant predictions about what the company will be capable of in years to come. Tesla's humanoid robot will progress from simple tasks like handing out bags of candy to performing surgery with beyond human levels of precision, the chief executive officer said Thursday. It's flagging. Wait, what is this? This is something different. Looks like stop clears. Oh, okay. So where does this continue? Tesla Thursday is flagging car business headed for a second year of shrinking sales. Will aim to ramp up production back up roughly 50% by end of 2026, he said. The leader of SpaceX even went so far as to predict that Tesla's robot called Optimus and vehicles will play a big role in someday establishing bases on the moon and Mars. It'll be something cool, next level moon buggy or Mars buggy, he told a shareholder. Musk 54 will need to realize at least some of these outwardly ambitions to lead Tesla to the market value and operational milestones laid out in the pay deal the shareholders passed during the company's annual meeting. More than 75% of votes cast were in favor. General Counsel Brendan eliciting and a standing ovation from the crowd gathered at Tesla's factory in Austin. Okay. All right, here it is. So Tesla's milestones for Musk. Market value milestones. So 2 trillion. So 20 million vehicles delivered. So that means you got to sell 20 million vehicles. I don't know the exact time frame of this. But yeah, 20 million vehicles delivered. 10 million active FSD subscriptions. 1 million robots delivered. 1 million robo taxis. 50 billion adjusted EBITDA. And then it gets into those. So these are the more clear ones that stand out. So he's got to put in that work. Tesla is a cult stock. Probably. I don't know. It's yeah, it's definitely been questionable, but you know, things keep popping out of there. And it's not like he's the ultimate genius in there. He's just a leader in the company. And so he has, you know, people, a team behind him, right? It's not like Tesla's popping out all of the, or not Tesla. It's not like Elon's popping out all of these ideas. He's buying smaller companies to work with Tesla. They're continuing to absorb new ideas because there's no way he's the only thing keeping that company afloat, right? They absorb other companies and keep that money flowing. And that's the only reason they're able to pay him that amount of money, because, you know, he's like, not like, what's that guy from the Avengers? Iron Man. He's not like Stark. He's not like somebody that's just sitting in a room building stuff all day. He's getting these and approving different ideas from other people, what they need to buy, how they need to go. But at the same time, he is not dumb. He's definitely still an engineer and still can get in there and do the work if he needs to. So that's one of the differences between him and some of the other CEOs that we see out there, is being able to get in and do the work as well. But you know, at this point, he's chilling with his feet up on $1 trillion of promised payouts. So, I mean, all he can do is work, you know, and do, you know, he already loves what he does, I'm guessing, because he's been doing it forever. But we'll see how that goes for him. Coming back out here. So yeah, I'm about to close it down. Let's just swing through the watch list one more time. So this is what I had on my own watch list. So basically Open, SG, NVO, XYZ, PFE, A-Firm, DraftKings, XPE, and Lilly. For the higher floats, Open leading in volume, but following up Archer, ACHR, down 13%, Nvidia down, Tesla down, Irene. I mean, so many of these are just down because the overall market is down. But it needed to happen. We needed a little bit of correction because it had just been going up. So we needed this correction. And hopefully it brings a new life into next week as things, we get more news as what's going on in the markets. For low floats, we have MSGM, BKY up there with 87 million, Ruby behind that of 47 or 48% with 94 million. So a lot of focus into the penny stocks, the actual penny stocks. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna sit on my hands until I see something real. If I don't see anything real, I'm okay with where I'm sitting on the week. I'm not crazy down. It is a red week, but I'm not just, I mean, the only day that I really traded was Monday, and no catalyst has really popped out. So I've been like, man, I just been on the sidelines for real. And then I took this little trade on Friday, which I was like, yeah, this is a bad trade, but it was completely out of scope. Just took a chance and made a little bit of green, but yeah, I'm good. I'm ready for the small caps to kind of kick back up and start to deliver some more catalysts down here, because everything's been AI, you know, the Magnificent 10 moving through the moon. But that's it for me today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let me read what you got here. You said One Life robots don't care if you throw hot coffee on them. True to that. Well, if you input a learning module for disrespect and you have your study sample of humans being disrespected and actions that are disrespectful, could you program a robot to react justifiably depending on the level of disrespect, kind of like a weighted system. Like how much disrespect. Like let's say if throwing coffee is a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the reaction? Drop kick, bull rush. What's the reaction? And then you said Tesla's a cult. If Elon wasn't with Tesla, where would the price be? Probably below the ground, actually. I don't know. I mean, he founded the company and he just broke off from it, kind of broke his name off from it, so it lives by itself now. But I mean, that's the dream. You build a business that can just do everything else. A robot could tear your head out. Yeah, it could. And I think people will be given some type of mechanism to disengage a robot if it does see in its learning module that you have disrespected it and it wants to see you in the streets. Maybe there'll be some type of physical taser for robots or something, and you can sit him down. But anyway, that's enough for today. I'm about to get on out of here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Today, what is today? Is today Friday? Today is Friday. Okay, so yeah, see you in the next one, Monday morning, pre-market. And we will see what unfolds over the weekend. Keep your head on a swivel, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.